looking at the lineup there, we got down there, we got Gary Jones, we got Ed White. Ed White, strong compared to last year, of course. Ian Anderson showing well in testing. We've got Frank Crossley, Jordan Donegan, who's been in BRKC pretty much since it began. Bartosz Malutko, he's down there now. Michael Moore and Kyle Power. Brad Philpott, and former World Championship level driver, and he's very capable. Alvarez Smith, who's probably won more races and championships than anybody here today. His CV is as long as your proverbial arm, and you're going to need a pretty long arm as it is for that. So a very tough one here, but the drivers on paper right now to look out for would of course be Brad Philpott, Anwar Barul-Smith, Ed White, and possibly Ian Anderson, but don't rule out the others. We've seen so far that some names have come to the fore that we may not have considered, some that we may not even have heard of. So it's going to be well worth watching this opening, or another opening heat for these drivers. It's still on heat 1, or when I say heat 1, the first round of heats. This is in fact heat 6. We'll see what happens when they come out. It looks as though the guys I've just been mentioning are sort of nearer the back as well. Bringing up the rear is actually Gary Jones. He's in the final car, the number 16 down there, and we'll just have to wait and see what these guys come up with. Okay, so leading out onto the course now, and they're all underway, and obviously very important that the guys at the back get out as quick as possible so they're not blocking the fast ones or even getting themselves caught out when one of the first people are coming round and completing their qualifying lap when they in turn slow down. So when you're leaving the pits, get out as fast as you can, no hanging out. Okay, so we're going to be commencing the lap times now, the 18 there, going through to begin this session, the qualifying session for heat number 6. That session begins now, they're all on track. Okay, and we can see now down at the end of that straight there, the cars all completing their qualifying now. It's Ian Anderson who's currently quickest. Ian Anderson from Jordan Donegan. Malutko is in third, but the times are going to keep rolling through. The checker is out. The first proper laps are being completed. We're just going to see what happens when these times do come in. And once the times are in, we're going to see what the lineup is. We can see Anwar Barul-Smith and organiser Bradley Philpott coming through now. They're crossing the line as we speak. Over the line they go. And they complete their flying laps. And then Gary Jones, the last one through to complete the qualifying run there. I guess that's from the commencement.
Just trying to see one over. Looks like
okay, so just waiting for those times to be clarified, and we'll see what happens. So it looks like it's Ed White who's on the pole. Ed White in the 10 kart has taken pole position from championship organiser Brad Philpott. They're pulling up at the end of the straight in grid order, and that's Gary Jones. Gary Jones has come through into third place by looks of things there. And then we've got the 18 kart, which is Ian Anderson, and we're still waiting. Anwar Barul-Smith, haven't seen him appear yet. That's going to be quite a surprise. Here's Anwar Barul-Smith now. He's 5th place. That's well, he'll probably be a little bit disappointed with that one. Anwar Barul-Smith, and Jordan Donegan has come through into 6th place. Jordan Donegan, of course, the original racewear and original hosting boss there in 6th. Malutko is in 7th. Kyle Power's going to be 8th. It's going to be Michael Moore in 9th, and Frank Crossley is going to be bringing up the rear. So those are the positions to start this race. It's going to be quite a race, this one. Ed White taking the pole from Brad Philpott. Gary Jones has appeared in there as well. And Gary Jones is going to be worth watching. He's, in fact, he has a 3-time, including last year, champion of one of the Cov Kart Sport divisions. So he is a champion from Cov Kart Sport, is Gary Jones. He's in 3rd place. But Ed White, Titan Motorsport driver, he's going to lead the way from championship organiser Brad Philpott. And we're going green, and it's the most spread out start we've seen so far, but Ed White has rocketed into the distance there. Brad Philpott is in second place and Gary Jones is third. So Gary Jones, Gary is worth mentioning, he's won down at Wombwell. He's been the champion down there, so well, we'll see how he fares. But meantime, it is Ed White. Ed White, we've seen perform epically at BRKC level. He's leading the way. There he is, into the corner at the end of the straight. Brad Philpott runs second, Gary Jones in third. As the field streams through that turn at the end of the straight there, it is Ed White crossing the line now. At the end, you can see the pit exit there. Ed White crosses the line now, and he has got an even bigger lead from Brad Philpott, who's running in second place. Gary Jones, he's notable there in the red suit. The red suit in third place. Gary Jones is looking to get even closer to Brad Philpott and work on the championship organiser. And then a couple further back, it is Anwar Barul Smith who is running in fifth place. Anwar Barul Smith, incredibly well titled driver, Anwar Barul Smith. He's in the number 19. He's running fifth place now. And Ed White really trying to pull out an even bigger lead from Brad Philpott this time. And it has to be said that the battle is going to be for second place at this rate, because Ed White is absolutely rocketing away. He's got a bigger lead all the time over Brad Philpott. Brad Philpott has got a little bit of a gap now to Gary Jones, and Gary Jones has got full attention to the driver behind him. And there goes Ed White round the stadium section now. You can see he's under the gantry. Brad Philpott and Gary Jones. And it's Anderson, it's Ian Anderson who's in fourth place, working on Gary Jones. You can see him just going out of view now as they cross the line and away out of view of the TV picture. Still with Ed White getting an even bigger lead, and Brad Philpott running second. Gary Jones trying to close in Philpott, but Ian Anderson is the one who's tackling the red-suited Gary Jones, who's running in third. Anwar Barul Smith winning. Onto the back straight. Here's the turn. So there's Ed White on screen now. A bit of a gap. There's Philpott, and the red suit is Gary Jones, then Anderson, and then Barul Smith. And that really is where the battle is. Philpott backwards. That's going to be a tight one. These drivers, absolutely well-capable drivers, formidable competitors, everyone, champions, everyone. They've all got a title to their name, and they're going to be racing hard for this heat race. But Ed White, there's no stopping Ed White. He's coming out of the snail section now, around the big looping bend, onto the back stretch. There's Ed White just going out of screen, and there's Philpott. That's the gap, you can see it. And we'll be heading into the turn again, the back straight, and Ed White's already taken that turn. Round the stadium, there's Ed White, and that is the gap to Philpott. It's getting even bigger. So there's Ed White going off screen now, crossing the line, and there's Philpott. That gives an idea of the distance, and you can see second, third, fourth, fifth is the real battle in this race. Philpott is in second place, followed by Gary Jones, and then of course Ian Anderson, who showed so well in testing yesterday. Ian Anderson was fast all day long. Anwar Barul Smith, possibly the most titled driver here in the BRKC today. Right. There's Ed White. We've gone slightly out of view from him, but there's the back stretch. You can see the tail of the field coming through now. Ed White crosses the line to put another lap in the lead, and there's Philpott. Jones, a little bit of a gap, and Anderson and Barul Smith now have lost a bit of time to Gary Jones in third place. They're in the battle for fourth, so it might be that Philpott and Jones are making an effort now to pull up with the leader, Ed White. Ed White onto the back straight, down to that tight hairpin at the end of the back straight now. There he is. So there's Ed White, the race leader, on screen now. And there's the battle for second. That's Brad Philpott got off the picture, but there's Ed White coming through around the stadium area. The fans are all up in the top looking down. There's Ed White out of picture. There's Brad Philpott, and there is Gary Jones, followed by Anwar Barul Smith. And of course, sorry, not Anwar Barul Smith, it's Ian Anderson. Barul Smith would like to be the one who's following Gary Jones, and I'm sure he's going to have something to say about getting that position off Ian Anderson. So a great start in this race, a really tough one actually. Not really one that's going to be an easy one to call. It's still Ed White though with the lead, and Ed White is trying to put a gap now that could see him make a pit stop and still come out in the lead. Philpott is being pursued by Gary Jones. Gary Jones is really working hard on the tail of the championship organiser. Brad, of course, is the organiser of the BRKC. He came up with the idea and worked on it. It used to be a multi-venue series. Now, in line with the big European Championships and the Kart World Championship, which it is an official feeder towards the winner of this event, the champion, BRKC this year, does get a free entry into the World Championship. Ed White, of course, would like it to be him, and that's why he's trying to make such a dominating job of this opening heat race, as far as he's concerned. Philpott, as I say, is the championship organiser. Brad, though, does like his racing, and, well, he gets in there and mixes it, and it's fair to say no one gives him any quarter. He might well be the organiser and the guy in charge, shall we say. I don't think you really often see Bernie Ecclestone driving the Grand Prix, but you do see Brad Philpott racing the BRKC event. Meantime, around the stadium area now, it's Ed White with the lead, followed by Philpott and Jones. And then, of course, Ian Anderson, as I say, did so well in testing yesterday. He really was one of the front runners. That's Ian Anderson going out of shot now on the across the finish line there. He's got the full attention of Anwar Brule-Smith, and there you can see him in the Snell section in the background. That's Ian Anderson still leading Brule-Smith. And still leading the whole event, though, it's definitely Ed White, who's now almost got the entire straight. There he is on screen now, and off screen. He's almost got the entire straightaway ahead of Brad Philpott. Ed White, a sterling effort to pull away. Brad Philpott, of course, is battling there with Gary Jones, but it's not the sort of battle that's going to hold anyone up. So far, no one's picked up Brule-Smith, Anwar Brule-Smith. This is going to be very interesting. The most titled driver of the lot is in the pits. He's in the pits. He's made the first stop. He's now made the second part of the stop in the pits, and he's coming out. You can see him on screen. He's exiting the pit lane. Anwar Brule-Smith is pitted out of 5th place. He's obviously reckoned he's not going to be able to pass Ian Anderson purely on overtaking. He's going to try and do it on speed. He's come out in clear air. This has worked out very well for the former 5th place driver, Anwar Brule-Smith, who is just such a strong competitor. He can never be ruled out. He really only looks the part when he gets behind the wheel of a kart, but once he's behind the wheel of a kart, he's one of the toughest and best you're going to find. Anwar Brule-Smith coming through the stadium area now. You can see him on screen. There he is. About to cross the line. He completes another lap. Brule-Smith. But we've got another kart in the pits. It's the 13 kart. Of course, that's Michael Moore. Michael Moore was running in 9th, and Michael Moore's getting his pit stops out of the way early. He's going to go a lap down to Ed White. Yes, he does. Ed White comes through and just puts Michael Moore a lap down as Moore comes out of the pits. You can see that there. There's Philpott and Gary Jones on screen, and then Ian Anderson. Now, Ian Anderson is running on his own now. He does not have the attention of Anwar Brule-Smith behind him. So Anwar Brule-Smith, taking that breath by pitting, has taken the pressure off Ian Anderson. And the question is, can Ian Anderson close in on that battle for second place, which of course involves Brad Philpott and Gary Jones. Ian Anderson fast in testing. This is exactly what he needs. On his own, he's very quick indeed, is Ian Anderson. And already it looks like he's starting to make inroads. He certainly means business. So there's Philpott and Jones, and there's Anderson. Anderson surely is closing the gap towards that second place battle. It may well be that Ed White's checking out in the distance, making even bigger lead with every passing lap. But Philpott and Jones are being caught by looks of things by Ian Anderson. Ian Anderson looking to put himself in the mix. We have someone in the pits, and they have come out of the pits there. It's the 21 machine, the 21. That's Kyle Power, and we're under red flags. We're under red flags.
What's up?
Oh, okay.
Which one?
21.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're under red flag conditions now, and bizarrely at this level, well, it just shows what the pressure can be like, because Kyle Power has managed to start racing without his helmet being done up, and so hence the red flags. They're not going to mess about. It does seem, in the scheme of things, a kind of a crazy thing to get busted for, but Kyle Power bringing out the red flags, and well, that just kind of shows the pressure that some of these people are under. Red flags, of course, means the karts stop where they are. Normal indoor karting rules. It is the British Championship, but the rules remain the same as pretty much any track you'll ever visit, because that's what a lot of these guys are used to racing under. So standard indoor karting rules means that everyone has to stop where they are under red flag conditions, not coming round and parking up on the start line, as you might find in other outdoor series. So yes, the red flag is of course for Kyle Power. Kyle Power is of course not involved in the incident, perfectly okay, and we'll just see what the organisers have to say about his continued progress. But Kyle Power, we saw him coming into the pits there, and then coming out of the pits, and that was where his indiscretion got noticed, but clearly showing the pressure there is Kyle Power. We obviously hope for a better showing from him. Kyle Power, of course, has won a race at the EKL level, so he's certainly no slouch. And of course, he is he was second in the Red Lodge Championship last year, so a very competitive driver there. Clearly looking to try and get something out of the BRKC, but this is going to be a tough one for him to take. Kyle Power just struggling with the pressure there for the BRKC. Okay, so the race is resumed. We're going green. And once again, of course, it's going to be Ed White with a massive lead. Brad Philpott has Gary Jones. He's got the biggest gap over Gary Jones he's had all race long. Gary Jones obviously losing a little bit on the restart. Naturally, we're looking for Ian Hansen.
14 and 20 can stop in the red start.
And the red flags have actually caused a penalty as well for carts 14 and 20. They're taking their penalties as we speak. They didn't stop in the red. We had the 12 carts in as well. But 14 and 20 have got penalties for failing to stop under the red flags. So that's a tough one. That's Bartosz Malutko in the 14 and the 20. Which cart that one is? Must have been, well, maybe it was the 21. I've been told by the organisers it was 20, but it could well be Kyle Power, who, to add to him causing the red flag, has got busted for not stopping in time under red. Okay, meantime, the race resumes. It's Ed White, but yes, it is the 21 cart of Kyle Power, so a real tough one for the Red Lodge runner-up from last year. A tough break in his opening race at BRKC level. He's now exited the pit, we saw that just there. And meantime, there's Ed White just going through. You can see him on camera, the back of Ed White's cart there, entering the snail section. The snail section, so named as the way it winds in like the shell of a snail. Ian Anderson now pits. Ian Anderson has pitted out of 4th place. Well, he was closing in. There he is at the end of the pit lane. You can see him coming out. Burrell Smith moves ahead of Anderson. So Burrell Smith's inspired early pit stop has leapfrogged him ahead of Ian Anderson. If you remember, Burrell Smith and Ian Anderson were battling for 4th place. And that has now come out in Burrell Smith's favour. Burrell Smith just making a better job in the clear air, having pitted behind Ian Anderson there. So, on track, just to recap on the reels, it's Ed White with a big lead and the fastest lap so far of the race. Ed White clearly meaning business. He wants to be competitive, he is competitive. He's leading the race with the fastest lap so far in this heat race. Bradley Philpott, Brad, a World Championship competitor, he knows how to drive, but he is struggling to stay with Ed White. He's losing time all the way. Gary Jones is right there with Brad Philpott, marginally faster on best times, the best lap time, Gary Jones, but he's not able to do anything about Philpott in second. He's running there with him. And of course in 4th place we did have Ian Anderson, but we'll just check on that one because that may have changed due to the pit stop. In fact, yes it has. Of course it's Burrell Smith, we believe he's running 4th. Got a bit of an issue here with the timing, but we believe it is in fact Anwar Burrell Smith running up there. Anyway, I'll let you know as soon as I know. One thing that's not in doubt is Ed White's continuing domination of this race. He's now ahead of a couple of the back markers. He's really trying to extend a lead here. He needs to try and pull out a pit stop distance away from Brad Philpott in second and Gary Jones in third if he can maintain a lead without any question at all. Goodness knows what could happen. He may have a problem with his cart. He may have some problem with some back markers. Anything can happen. So it's not done and dusted yet for Ed White. But in terms of performance, you've got to say it's looking very good indeed. There he is on screen now, at the hairpin at the bottom. Ed White, he's going to come into the stadium section. Here he comes now on screen. And then away, past the pit entry there. There goes Ed White to complete that lap and start another. There's the back of Ed White's car. He makes his way into the snail section. Those behind him are the back markers. That's not the battle for second place. There's the battle for second place in the farthest background. In fact, the battle for second place has just been changed because Gary Jones has pitted. Gary Jones has pitted out of third. Now, can Gary Jones do what Anwar Burrell Smith did to Ian Anderson and try and use the pit stop to get some clear air to leapfrog? But he's now got Burrell Smith all over the back of him. Burrell Smith battling with Gary Jones for position. Burrell Smith has come out from absolutely nowhere and is challenging Gary Jones. Now, when these pit stops cycle through, this is going to be bad news for Gary Jones. Somehow he's either lost some time or, more importantly, Burrell Smith made up some time. Anwar Burrell Smith, like I was saying earlier, when he was running 5th place, he is the most titled driver here. He's been competitive at all kinds of level, world level, national level, local level, you name it. He's done well at it and always is amongst the top competitors, and he's showing it now. So we've got Philpott out there running ahead of Gary Jones, and Burrell Smith has come right into contention. He's really going to make a race of this. Look for Burrell Smith. There he is, just going out of the snare area in the distance there. Gary Jones in the red suit, Burrell Smith's the one behind him. Now onto the straight. There's Philpott going out here. There's Jones in the red suit and Burrell Smith behind him. Burrell Smith making a lunge. No, it doesn't work. He has to stay in line behind Gary Jones there. Here they come around the stadium area, and it's still Burrell Smith tailing Jones, but he's right at tail. There they are. Jones, of course, in the red suit. Burrell Smith following behind. Very, very close indeed. As soon as I can, I will get the update on the positions. The timing system is not quite where we need it to be at the moment, so I'm going purely off what I can see out on the track. So Ed White leads. There's Philpott behind him. There's Jones, and there's Burrell Smith with him. Burrell Smith is with him, and where is Anderson? Anderson's a little bit back. I believe that driver in the blue suit behind them is actually slightly down. It's the 13 car. It is Michael Moore. Michael Moore. And Michael Moore is actually running 9, so he's not in contention with Jones or Burrell Smith, but he's doing his formidable best, of course. He will have Ian Anderson coming up behind him, and there you can see him in distance in the Snell section. Ian Anderson will be trying to put him a lap down and get in contention with the Jones and Burrell Smith battle. Okay, so I now have an update on the timing. It is Ed White, of course, who's leading. Ed White continues to pull away by the lap. Ed White increasing his lead. It's then Brad Philpott from Gary Jones and Anwar Burrell Smith. Those two are really fighting it out. There they are, coming through the screen, off the screen now. And then 5th place is Ian Anderson. Now Ian Anderson has just pushed past Michael Moore to put him a lap down. He now has a clear shot at the leading group ahead of him. The race in this particular heat event is for that 3rd place. There they are now. The red suit, Jones, he's coming, Burrell Smith pulling alongside, but Burrell Smith to the outside. He can't make it work, he switches to the inside. He can't make it work there either. Jones is really defending hard, but Burrell Smith is trying everything he can. He really is pushing it to the limit on this heat race. Burrell Smith looking for that 3rd place for maximum points that he can get. If he can get past Jones, he's going to have a shot next at Brad Philpott. But Gary Jones is not one to take this lightly. Jones is hogging the inside all the way. He's trying to make it difficult for Burrell Smith. He knows if Burrell Smith has even the slightest hint, he will get through. There's Philpott out of view. So here comes Philpott into the corner at the end of the straight. Now here's the 3rd place battle. There's Jones, there's Burrell Smith, and there's Ian Anderson. Ian Anderson's closing in on the 3 of them to make it a 3-way battle. He's going to make the 3-way battle for 3rd. There goes Jones across the line, followed by Burrell Smith, and here's Ian Anderson closing all the time. Ian Anderson was a star in the testing yesterday. He was among the fastest. And he's showing he's still fast today, because here he is closing on the battle. He's now making it a 3-way fight for 3rd place. This is going to be the toughest part now. They're reeling off the laps. I believe they've all made their pit stops, so it's going to have to be done on the track. There's Jones in the red suit defending. Here they come into the corner at the end of the track. There's Jones, there's Burrell Smith, there's Anderson. There's absolutely nothing cheats on there. Burrell Smith so far has been able to just make all the decisions on where he puts his car, battling with Jones. But now he's having to consider that if he puts his car in that disadvantageous position, he may find the nose of Ian Anderson comes sailing up the inside. So Burrell Smith caught in the sandwich. He's trying to fight his way past Jones and defend against Anderson at the same time. Very, very tough situation for Anwar Burrell Smith, but if anyone can stoke up that pressure, it's the driver there, Burrell Smith. So Gary Jones, he continues round. There they are on the screen now. It's that tight. Look at that. The red suit Jones, Burrell Smith, Ian Anderson. And this is for 3rd place in this BRKC heat race number 7. And look at how tight Jones tries to keep his race in line. He just does not want anyone on the inside of him. He's tight all the way. He's using the middle of the road at maximum. There they are going away out of camera now in the distance there. Coming onto the back stretch now. Here they come. There they are. There's Gary Jones. And again, he's taken to the inside, into the turn at the end straight. It's Jones in the red suit, Burrell Smith, Anderson. Now Anderson, he's got to make sure that if he does make a move on Burrell Smith, that he doesn't have Burrell Smith accidentally chopping across his nose and sticking him in the wall. Because Burrell Smith, I can guarantee you, is fully intent on taking that 3rd place off Gary Jones. Jones defending like crazy, the 2 behind attacking like crazy. Here they come out in the Snell section. There's Jones in the red suit. It's still Jones holding that 3rd place. Not sure where the move's going to come from, but one of them's going to crack under pressure. 3 of them are fighting so hard, battling for position there. There they are at the bottom of that straight. It's It's still Gary Jones into the stadium area now. The flag is out and the race being won by Ed White. Oh, and Jones takes that third place. But Will Smith took fourth and Ian Anderson in fifth place. What a run there. What a battle there for those positions. Behind them, of course, we're looking at the six of Jordan Donegan, Kyle Power and Bartosz Maluko, Michael Moore and Frank Crossley there at the tail. We'll just recheck on the timing. As I say, the timing has given us some thought so far, but there's no doubting the winner, Ed White. An incredible performance from him. Brad Philpott managed to escape the attentions of Gary Jones. Gary Jones, an incredible performance. One of the stars of this race, Gary Jones in third place, Anwar Will Smith fourth, Ian Anderson in fifth. What an incredible battle that was over third place, the final podium position there in this BRKC heat race. That was quite something. We've seen some action so far and it just keeps coming thick and fast. That, of course, was in fact heat 6. Heat 7 is what's coming up next. It's still the first round of heats for the various drivers. And in this next heat race, we've got Callum Conway, we've got Lewis Manley, we've got Christian Jennings, we've got Michael Weddle, we've got Stefan Verhofstadt, we've got Chris Nagus, we've got Neil Smith, we've got Thomas Bocala, we've got Sander de Bates, we've got Andrew Duff. So another tough race coming up. I'm sure we're going to see some action in that one. But meantime, recapping on this race we've just seen, what a win there by Ed White. It has to be said that the performances we've seen from the heat winners so far just been really outstanding. A real demonstration on how to win a race in this style of indoor racing. Same style as what you see in the Kart World Championship for the indoor and the various national championships. Very often these days involving qualifying, one-lap qualifying, going into each heat race, that is, one-lap qualifying to each heat race, no grid draws or anything, just one-lap qualifying, a line start rather than a grid start, and rolling as well. And then, of course, pit stops being an important factor. We've seen how pit stops have needed to be planned today. We've had some people winning and some losing on pit stops, and certainly when the winners have done it, it's been slick all the way. So next heat race up, we've got obviously heat race 7, and I've just run through the listings there. Just one final thought on heat 6. Race winner now, he's coming back up top. It's Ed White. What a win there for Ed White. And he took it from the BRKC Championship organiser, Brad Philpott, and an epic performance, an epic defending performance by Gary Jones to maintain third place. A good point score by Jones, and he'll be pleased with that, no doubt. It really sets up his championship hopes for this particular weekend. Okay then, so turning our attention now, what are we going to see from heat 7? It's the first heat, of course, for all the drivers that are in this. We're still cycling through the first round of heats. We've got probably the favourite in this would have to be Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley's actually going to be the first one out to qualify, so we'll see what he has to offer straight away. Lewis Manley, he's been a regular here, he's a race winner here at Formula Fast in there, one circuit championship. Very, very competitive. We saw he was one of the stars of the BRKC last year, probably of the local drivers here at Formula Fast. The stars were Lewis Manley and Crispin Zerka. No one really knew who they were going into the event, but everybody knew who they were at the end of the event, and they're all here for another time around, second time around. And Lewis Manley, we've got to be expecting great things from him, but he's not going to have it his own way because a lot of tough competitors in there. Some of the foreign guys, you know, Stefan Verhofstadt, seen him at world level, you know, he's not going to give this one away. Sander de Bates, we'll see what he has to say. We've also got people like Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle can win at BRKC level. We've seen that before, and I'm sure today's going to be no difference. He's bound to be on the top step at some point. And Andrew Duff. Andrew Duff's worth a mention, although I'm sure he himself will be thinking, oh my goodness, when he sees who he's up against. Andrew Duff has been in the BRKC right from the beginning. He's well known for his blogs, his karting blogs. He races national level in the UK, BRKC. He races also in the British 24-hour at Teesside. Always there or thereabouts. On his day, capable of winning. Definitely capable of winning, Andrew Duff. But he's going to have his work cut out to win this one, but never can really be discounted. I would hate to say he's not in contention. We'll see what he has to offer at the end of the qualifying. Okay, so leading the way on the qualifying, it is of course Lewis Manley. He's the first one out in this heat race. He's in the 10 cut there, leading the way. As the others come through, there's Andrew Duff. He's third one through in the 11. We'll keep an eye out on him and see how he fares in this particular event. Callum Conway's gone through. We're not sure what to expect from Callum, but certainly I'm sure he'll be doing his best. In fact, Callum Conway, this is his first major kart competition. So Callum Conway, his first major kart competition, and it starts right now. So keep an eye on Callum Conway. Callum Conway is in kart 9. He's actually on his qualifying lap, and the others are filing through. See what they have to offer. The flag is out now. Lewis Manley's completed his qualifying lap. So have the others. They're all coming in there as Callum Conway and Andrew Duff, they complete theirs. The field running through now to set their time. They'll be pulling up on the backstretch there just to group up for the start. The start, of course, a single file start in rental karting. It prevents a huge pile up going on in the first corner, so we get the cleanest racing possible. Now, looking at the times, I'm hoping I can trust this one because we've got some real shocks. First of all, no shock whatsoever. Lewis Manley on the pole position, entirely expected. But Michael Weddle, for some reason, has only put himself in 9th place. According to the timing, I'm hoping what I'm getting is actually the real timings. I'll see when they grid up, but it looks like Michael Weddle has given himself an awful lot of work to do. BRKC race winner, and he's only in 9th out of the 10 karts, so goodness knows what happened on that lap for him. But at the moment, according to my timing screen, we've got Lewis Manley on the pole, entirely expected. Sander de Betz is second, Christian Jennings third, Andrew Duff, is he fourth? No, he's not. A bit of a timing glitch going on there. So I'll have to try and figure out who exactly is where. We've got the 14 is in second. That's Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt, yeah, no surprise there. He's going to be starting second, doing this manually. Michael Weddle is actually third, so he's the timing glitch going on, listing him as 9th, but actually he is third. Michael Weddle, it's where you'd expect him to be fair. Sander de Betz is in fact 4th, and further on back, the 21. I've got the proper positions now. Neil Smith is in 5th place, Christian Jennings 6th, Andrew Duff has taken 7th, Callum Conway is in 8th, and he's the one making his debut in any form of competition in karting. So an 8th in a BRKC heat race is a good start for him. Thomas Bukala is in 9th, and Chris Negus is 10th. Okay, so Lewis Manley. Now Lewis Manley has his sights on the title this year. There he is in the red suit and red and silver helmet. He's in the 10 kart, leading the way. There they are going around the final one. Stefan Verhofstadt is going to have something to say in this one. Lewis Manley, though, leads him across the line, and the race is on. So Lewis Manley leads from Verhofstadt and Weddle. It's still Lewis Manley. No one knows their way around this course better than Lewis Manley. He's the best of the local drivers, and he's showing why. He's put it on pole. He's going to try and lead and pull away in the way that we've just seen Ed White do. Lewis Manley keeps that lead. He's trying to pull away from Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt, one of the visiting European drivers, he's doing his best, but already Manley is trying to inch his car forward. Very equal, and it's still Lewis Manley with a lead that he's going to try and extend. Their first lap complete now with Manley leading from Verhofstadt and Weddle in third. Michael Weddle now will be working on the back of Verhofstadt. He's got Sander de Betz though. Sander de Betz is trying to make it a battle there as well. They're not exactly nose to tail. There is a kart distance between them, so unlikely that anyone's going to be beating or banging this early on. But that lead group of 4 seems to be pulling away from Andrew Duff, who's in 5th. So there we go, the lead group of 4, Lewis Manley leading the way from Stefan Verhofstadt and Michael Weddle and Sander de Betz. There, of course, is sorry, not Andrew. Yes, it does look like Andrew Duff, I'm sure. But anyway, we've got people in the pits now. Oh, and someone's made a real error on the pits. It's the 13 car who's made the error. The 21, which of course is 21, is Neil Smith. But the 13, number 13, Chris Negus, that's a real tactical error there because he came in right behind Neil Smith. What that meant was he has to wait that little bit longer, so he's lost time in the pits. Meantime, not losing any time at all is Lewis Manley. Cracks off another lap in the lead in the red suit there. And second place still Stefan Verhofstadt and Michael Weddle and Sander de Betz. Now Lewis Manley is going to try and break away from this group so they're not battling with him. He wants them to battle with each other. That'll hold each other up. They'll lose time if they're fighting away too hard. Weddle seems to have dropped back a little bit from Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt is holding a fairly even gap between the leader Manley. So there's Manley the leader, there's Verhofstadt, and there is Weddle in third. So Verhofstadt, if he can gain on Manley, he will have a bit of space to try and do something. He won't have Weddle right on his trial trying to pass him. But Manley is looking at pulling away, and this one, look at him go. That's the red suit there in the distance. Lewis Manley is taking a bit more out of Verhofstadt all the time. He's just pulling away in the lead. There goes Manley out of the back of the picture there in the red suit. They're coming on the back straight. So there's Lewis Manley in the lead. There's Stefan Verhofstadt second, and then Michael Weddle third with Sander de Betz in fourth. That's the relative gap you can see on the screen now. It's the end of the straight. They're coming into the stadium area now. And there's Lewis Manley, just a bigger lead all the time. There he is in the foreground, the red suit. It's just getting bigger, a bigger lead for Lewis Manley. He means to win this thing, and he's starting right off the bat. He wants a lot of points in first place. Lewis Manley now just pulling away round. Now they're starting to close up on the first of the back markers. And the first of those back markers, of course, is Chris Negis, who we saw Chris making that little bit of an error by coming into pits right on the back of Neil Smith, and that cost him some time. And Chris was actually running at the tail of the field anyway, so he's not quite on Lewis Manley's pace. Now they're going to be bringing out the blue flag almost straight away. The marshals look like they're ready with the blue flag. Chris Negis is on the case. He's going to let Manley through. Negis moves out of the way. Manley makes the pass. The light blue helmet of Chris Negis doing the gentlemanly thing. He's let the faster man through, the leader. So Lewis Manley has had absolutely no problem, lost no time at all in getting past Chris Negis. Chris Negis, one of those drivers really on the case with being in the race. He realised he's not the quickest though, and he's gone a lap down. He's now got Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt is looking to take that as well. Yes, he has. Chris Negis really doing a sterling job of being out of the way. He probably realised he's lost of time with that pit stop. And he's managed to run into the back of Sander de Betz. Well, I suppose he can't disappear, can he? He's got to be somewhere, and unfortunately at that moment was into the back of Sander de Betz. But anyway, no harm done. Lewis Manley continues to lead in the stadium area now. There he is in the foreground in the picture, and driving away in the foreground in the picture. That's Lewis Manley. Stefan Verhofstadt continuing in second place, but Verhofstadt's going to have to really work hard to try and get onto the tail of Lewis Manley now. He cannot let Lewis pull away in any kind of distance. Lewis knows the circuit so well. He knows exactly what to do. The various changing conditions with temperature, the tyres, with the temperature of the concrete. Lewis knows it all around here. Been through this 1,000 times before in the local championships. And Lewis Manley is showing that he's really not going to be beaten around here. Not on any even terms anyway. Stefan Verhofstadt, he continues in second place. And third place, Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle, of course, is a BRKC winner, and we know that, so we're expecting some kind of result from him. He's racing as part of Briars Racing this weekend, and he's listed as part of Briars Racing. Briars Racing, of course, the battling brothers of Sean and Liam Brierley, and their representative, Michael Weddle, is out there as we speak, and running in third place. Sander de Betz continues in fourth. And really, we're just looking to see how this works out in the pit stop cycle.
How's it going? All looking good. Tasting your voice lines, you've got 11 things later.
So Lewis Manley is coming down the back stretch into that turn at the end. It's a very tight one. We've seen some overtaking moves made down there. Some really good ones for position. We've also seen a few pilots, and it's a tough place to be overtaking. It kinks a little bit to the left, then goes into the left proper. So it does kind of incite people to take a massive lunge that sometimes doesn't actually come off. Nobody's going to be lunging Lewis Manley though. He keeps building up, but Stefan Verhofstadt seems to up his pace a little bit. He's just 1/10 of a second off Lewis Manley on pure lap time, but he's pulling away from the Weddle and Sander de Betz battle. So that's a good thing for Stefan Verhofstadt. He just needs to find a way of closing on Lewis Manley. He's probably got back markers on his mind. The next back marker they're going to catch is Callum Conway, who's running 9th at the moment. And Callum hasn't had any attention from the leaders yet, so I'm sure the marshals will be on the case with the blue flag. But even so, Callum Conway may be a factor in this race. He's racing around the top end of the course. Now, Callum Conway's coming onto the backstretch now, so we can see him in the blue suit going out picture. There's Lewis Manley in the red suit. So that's the distance now between Lewis Manley and the first of the back markers he's got to pass. So Conway now in the stadium section, Manley in the stadium section. So there's Conway in the blue suit going out to the stadium section now. There's Manley in the red suit following him. Manley starting to close in now on Conway. Conway just racing there on his own in 9th place. He's not in a battle, so there's no reason to expect that he won't be moving out of the way. But it's all a question of where Lewis Manley catches him. He's got to catch him somewhere where Conway can actually get out of the way and still maintain pace. Because Conway's running his race, he's not going to want to lose a lot of time. So there's Conway now on screen, and there's Manley right behind him. And there comes the battle for 2nd place. Now Manley's trying to make a move on the inside Conway. He makes the move and puts Conway a lap down. Conway in the 9 cart, in 9th place, has been put a lap down by Lewis Manley. Next up to catch Conway is Stefan Verhofstadt, but Verhofstadt's some way behind Conway as we speak. If you look on the screen, you can see in the distance there, coming through the snail section, there's Manley in the red suit, and there's Conway, and there is Verhofstadt chasing down Conway now to try and put the blue suited driver a lap down. So on the backstretch now, at the end of it, into the tight corner at the end of the backstretch, it's Lewis Manley. There's Conway, and Verhofstadt is still not caught Conway yet. So stadium area, let's have a look. There's the red suit Manley, there's Conway, and there is Verhofstadt running him down 2nd. Now we've got a pit stop, and I believe that's Sander de Betz. Yes it is, it's Sander de Betz in the 16 cart, has made a good stop there. He's stopping in the 2nd part. If we look, we can see in the distance, he's coming out of the pits now. It's going to cost him, he's fallen behind Andrew Duff by looks of things, which could put him in 6th place. Duff will have moved up to 5th with that, and that'll put Sander de Betz down into 6th place. Sander was running in 4th. I'm sure he'll be back up to that. Hopefully he'll have some clean air. Even if he does catch Andrew Duff, Andrew's a sportsman, and I'm sure Sander will be getting through. But we've got someone in the pits again. 19 is Weddle, Michael Weddle. Now this is really important. He's 3rd place. He's lost 3rd place, needless to say. But there he is coming out of the pits. And here comes the 4th place, the 16th. Can he take him? No, Sander de Betz still is behind Weddle. If you remember, these guys are battling for 3rd and 4th. They're a bit further down the order, but the battle will count probably still as 3rd and 4th when the cycle of pit stops has run through. And Weddle has managed to come out ahead of Sander de Betz. Now, if there was one person that Sander de Betz needed to pass in this race, it was Weddle, because he was the one he was battling with. Cycling through the pit stops, that would have been Sander's hope, that Weddle somehow would get caught out, lose some time somewhere, but it hasn't happened, and they've rejoined in exactly the same position they were in. Next up, of course, they will be catching Andrew Duff. Now, Andrew's running ahead of them on the road, but Duff has yet to pit. So effectively, it's slightly out of position, because when he does pit, he will fall behind this battle. Have we any more pit stops? No, they're still coming through. Manley continues to lead. He's put the 13 cart, which is Chris Negus, down another lap. Manley continues to run in front. He's running fastest so far as well. Lewis Manley really is taking command of this race. He's almost unstoppable in this, the 7th heat race so far for the BRKC 2015. Lewis Manley looking really good. There he is going out of view in the red suit. He's going to be coming on the backstretch now. There's Lewis Manley just going out of view into the tight corner. So Lewis Manley in the red suit's the race leader. Stefan Verhofstadt has now got past the back marker he was chasing, and he's trying to close down the leader. This is a great showing by Verhofstadt. He's really a formidable competitor, has been around on the world scene for some time. And Stefan Verhofstadt is really showing very well. To be running Lewis Manley this close is good. Now Lewis Manley's caught behind the back marker, but the back marker's moving out of the way. I don't know which one it is at the moment, but he makes no trouble for Lewis Manley, and Lewis Manley, his lead stays intact. He gets past that driver straight away. Just identify the back marker, it's the 21, the number 21, which of course is Neil Smith. We saw Neil Smith pitting very early in the race, so Neil has made his pit stop. He is a lap down by the looks of things. He's running in 8th place at the moment, it's Neil Smith. And that's him there behind Lewis Manley, but obviously not positioned. Manley going in the snail section in the race. There's Neil Smith behind, and there's Stefan Verhofstadt trying to close him down through the right and now into the left of the snail section. They're going to be coming through the fast left-hander. They're heading to the backstretch now. There's the long backstretch. Let's have a look at this. There's Manley in the red suit. There's the back marker Smith, and there's Verhofstadt. chasing him down into that tight final turn. Looks like Stefan Verhofstadt there going through the tight turn. There's another back marker ahead, and it's the number 12. This time it's Thomas Bukala. Thomas Bukala is going to be the next back marker for Manley to try and tackle. I'm not sure Bukala's been in the pits yet. But I think Lewis is going to have to pass him anyway. They blue flag Bukala, and Bukala is moving out of the way, and Manley's going through. So no problem there for Manley. And we've got a pit stopper, and that is Andrew Duff. That, of course, will elevate the Sander de Betz Michael Weddle battle back up into their third place. Duff was running third. A great showing there by the BRKC British national regular. Find Andrew Duff driving all kinds of kart events during the season, and then writing about it in his blog. So that's Andrew Duff there in the 11 kart. He's resumed in 6th place. Bit of a tight one down bottom here. But Andrew Duff on the backstretch now. That's Andrew Duff. Heading into the tight corner at the end, and then back. There's Andrew Duff on screen now. In the white suit, more of a grey colour. To be fair, there's Andrew Duff continuing round. Andrew Duff, as I say, he writes a blog, a very interesting blog that many rental karters do patch into, and sometimes if you're racing against Andrew Duff, you find yourself included in that, as someone he's been battling with all day long. Somebody who is battling, though, is Lewis Manley, and he's just really, in fact, he's come out of the pits, unseen by me. I was busy looking and talking about Andrew Duff, but Lewis Manley has made a pit stop, and I'll just double check with the timing when that refreshes, and we'll see what is the situation with Verhofstadt. We're looking for Verhofstadt to see where he's at. There he is on the backstretch, and he's got a... Has he got a pit lead? A pit stop lead? That's going to be very interesting. If Verhofstadt has a pit stop lead, then he may well end up coming out in front of Lewis Manley, and that would certainly be something. Here's Lewis Manley, though. He's got clear air, and he's going to try and make sure that he maintains a good enough gap to keep his lead when Verhofstadt pits. Weddle, of course, is back up into the... Oh, gosh, an incident there. It's the 16 kart. That's Sander de Betz. Sander de Betz caught in something. He went for a move on Weddle, and it didn't come off. But it was almost a huge collision. That will have cost them both some time. But they're both closing up on Chris Negus, who, as we know, is running 10th. He's running last at the moment. But he's moving out of the way, and he's letting the quicker karts through. So it won't be an opportunity. Oh, and Verhofstadt, the race leader's in the pits. Race leader's in the pits. Lewis Manley's coming up. So we can see there's Verhofstadt stops. He's coming out, and Lewis Manley retakes the lead. Verhofstadt rejoins the track. And Lewis Manley has come out of that deal in the lead. Verhofstadt, he didn't quite manage to make as big a gap as he needed to come out of the pits in front of Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley showing why he's a championship contender and a frequent race winner here. A huge string of pole positions in the circuit championship here at Formula Fast, and that's why Lewis Manley is showing well today. Very, very rapid right here. Here he is on camera now. There's the red suit, and there's Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt was hoping to use the pit stops to leapfrog the leader Lewis Manley, and it just did not work out for the visiting European driver there, Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt, has to be said though, is doing an absolutely epic job of staying with Manley. He's the only one here who can hold a candle to Manley. Weddle and Sander de Betz, they're doing their formidable best, but it's Stefan Verhofstadt who's the competition for Manley in this race. Lewis Manley now has just got to run this thing to the end. He's got to crack those laps off. Stefan Verhofstadt really, unless something really untoward happens, hasn't a hope of winning this. Lewis Manley's got this one in the bag. Verhofstadt, though, is very, very comfortable in second place. The gap between him and Manley is nowhere near the gap he's got over third place. So Verhofstadt, very, very comfortable in that second place. Even more comfortable because Michael Weddle and Sander de Betz, who are battling over that third place, my goodness, they're really going at it. Let's hope we can see them now. They're coming onto the back stretch. We'll see what they do in the turn at the end. There they are. They're fighting away. Weddle goes inside. Weddle tries to hold them off. Yes, he does. Sander de Betz is still looking for that position, but they come into the stadium area now. There they are on screen, down below, and coming away. They're nose to tail. Look at that. That is Michael Weddle leading from the visiting Sander de Betz. Sander de Betz is putting up a good performance here, but Weddle is really getting defensive. You can see on the camera there, he's hugging the inside line. He's not giving Betz any opportunity. We're not too far from the end of the race now, and Michael Weddle will not want to lose this here. He managed to use the pit stops to keep ahead of Sander de Betz. Sander de Betz did a great job, but it just wasn't enough to stay ahead, and this is where the action is. A third place battle between Michael Weddle and Sander de Betz. They're on screen, there they are. They're still battling away, and Weddle really has it covered with Standard Events. Standard Events cannot come up with anything, but they're coming up to a back marker. This is an interesting factor here. The back marker, of course, we've seen get out of the way. I think it's Callum Conway. Yes, it's Conway. Is Conway going to go away? Conway gets out of the way. We can see there Weddle on the top part of the screen, and yes, on the top part of the screen as well. The Standard Events who gets through. Battle resumed into the tight turn. What's going to happen here? Oh, it's still nose to tail, still in line. You can see on screen, for some reason, when you're looking out the side of the commentary box here, it looks an even closer race than it does on the TV. Right. They're coming into the snail section in the distance there. That's Weddle versus Standard Events. Conway has not been left for dead, so he is actually managing to hold something there. They'll just keep going for this. Standard Events is starting to run out of patience, Michael Weddle, and it's cost him. Standard Events went for a move there, didn't come off. If we look into the turn at the end of the straight, there's Weddle, and there is Standard Events. So you can see how much that move, or attempted move, has actually cost Standard Events. Standard Events, though, I think is going to prove to be slightly quicker of the two. He is faster so far by a mere 200ths of a second, but I think he'll close up on Weddle and battle will be resumed. So let's see what happens. Standard Events is in fact closing up on Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle might not quite know what sort of a gap he's got over Standard Events. There's no time for him to be looking over his shoulder and things like that. Otherwise he's going to brush the wall. As we come into the corner, we can see that gap's closing down. Standard Events there, the second of those two carts. They're in the stadium section now, they're on screen. There they are, and that's Weddle. And he has been hunted down by Standard Events. Standard Events has got it to within a cart's distance. Don't worry, you Lewis Manley fans. Lewis Manley is still continuing in the lead. Stefan Verhofstadt, though. Stefan Verhofstadt, what a showing by him, though, because he's only 1/10 of a... Oh, sorry, not 1/10. Yes, 1/10 of a second behind Lewis Manley on lap time, so he is really doing sterling performance. However, it's Weddle and Standard Events that we need to be looking for. There they are, coming on screen now. They're in that stadium area, still nose to tail. Standard Events has closed right up. Once more on Michael Weddle. We saw him take a huge lunge earlier that cost him dear. And Weddle's got it covered. Standard Events is right with him though. They're through the snail section there. Coming around on the far side of the camera. Camera's picked him up, going out of view. We're going to be on the backstretch there. There they go. Great camera work this time around at the BRKC, and look at this, the winner there is Manley, second of Verhofstadt, but this is what the battle is. It's Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle's holding on. Standard Events has got one more corner to try, but he cannot do anything. There's Michael Weddle crossing the line from Standard Events. What a run for fourth. Fifth, Christian Jennings. Christian Jennings has come fifth, and there's Andrew Duff crossing the line, taking the flag in sixth place. Andrew Duff, he's opening his BRKC 2015 with a sixth place. Thomas Bukala from Neil Smith and Callum Conway. And then bringing up the rear, crossing the line now, the light blue helmet, that's Chris Needus, he's in 10th place and a lap down. But what a run there by Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley winning the race in the red suit. There he is, just going out of the camera view there. They're all coming into the pits now. The cool down lap, a result there by Lewis Manley. Incredible run there to second by Stefan Verhofstadt. Stefan Verhofstadt came in second, and Michael Weddle, Standard Events. What do we say about that? Standard Events, he probably had a whole bunch of ideas, but Michael Weddle was having none of it. Some tight defending and some quick driving to keep ahead of him. That battle for third place, probably the highlight of this particular race. What a run.
I was behind Weddle yesterday in practice. I just cannot get past him because he it's a case of following a good driver. He knows how to defend. It's very tricky to get around here.
Absolutely, and looking at the lap times as well, it has to be said, Michael Weddle is clearly a driver who can defend very well and be very, shall we say, tight on defending. He's been taking some middle lines, and yet it's not really costing him on pace. He can be offline and be fast, and that's crucial, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw him looking around. Just say, looking defensively in terms of on the inside, it's just look for that opportunity to take the racing line wherever possible, maintain lap time, and sort of to give them a bit of breathing space, because
Tom Clark, and we'll see what he has to offer in the midst of all this. Right, so once names keep an eye on Annalene Boutons, pole position from last year's BRKC final. Keep an eye on her, the former ladies world champion, and of course Matthias Gruten, who's a former world champion himself, but has never been here before and hasn't seen the track and has had no time for practice. So these laps are his first. Anything that Matthias Gruten can do here is just going to be unbelievable. Theoretically he should be last, but that's not really the Gruten way. We'll see how this all shapes out. So the qualifying laps are being completed. Is there any way we can put this? It just looks like Annalene. Right, so we believe it might be Annalene Boutons who's on the pole position, just waiting for confirmation from the timing.
It looks like Annalene. I can't see a second now.
Okay, so yes, it is in fact Annalene Boutons. There she is on pole position. She was pole position in the final last year, so it's no real surprise to see her pass this. As I say, former ladies world champion. We're just waiting for the confirmation of the times to be coming up, and then we'll know who exactly is where. So as we're waiting for the carts to form up and the timing screen to update, so we've got quite a lot of people here at the venue today, viewing up on the grandstand at the top, the viewing balcony there. There's also viewing down in the infield, as well as a bunch of people down here, and viewing all down the side. It's a popular place for taking pictures because it's pretty close to the action, it has to be said, sometimes very close. Okay, so they're getting gridded up and we're just waiting for time to... One thing I can confirm is Annalene Bouton's on the pole. As they come around now, Annalene Bouton's sister of the BRKC champion from last year, Ruben Bouton's, down there won it herself, but it was in fact brother that took the lead and took the championship. And the race is on now. It's Annalene Bouton's who races away into the lead. Annalene Bouton's leads into the snail section there. She's got it covered by the looks of things. As they're going out of view of the camera, they're going to come back into view, and it's still Annalene Bouton's with the lead there, trying to increase the lead. In fact, she's got a good jump on the field and could well be on her way to checking out on this one. You'll see a very polished polished performance from the Dutch lady here, who's leading the way in the number 9. There's Annalene Bouton's. Trying to just identify everyone else. It's all going on, and it's in fact Jack Bolt. Jack Bolton is in second place according to the timing. That's quite a performance there from him. He's in the 12th car, he is in second. Great job there by Jack Bolton to take second place. He's trying to chase down Annalene Bouton's. He's leading the charge on the race leader there. So Jack Bolton there running in second place. We can see him now just coming through, chasing Annalene Bouton's into the stadium area. It looks like Matthias Gruten's in fact in third place. What an outstanding performance by the former world champion. Gruten, he has not even seen the racetrack here, and yet he qualifies third and is now looking to work on Bolton. What an incredible show there by the Belgian. Gruten is in third place. And Ben Churchill is in fourth. Ben Churchill, a good show there by Churchill. What an outstanding performance by him. As I said, he's been on the podium before at BRKC level. He's obviously trying to stay with them all. He's running in fourth. And Josh Morris is in fifth. Lee Henderson is sixth. Lee Henderson, a regular in all karting levels, been in the BRKC for some years now. Arnaud Tinet, the Frenchman who flew in from Singapore. Arnaud Tinet, he's running in seventh place. And that's incredible. Arnaud Tinet is actually running 25 kilos over the weight limit. So Arnaud Tinet showing that weight is no handicap. He's running in seventh place from Nathan Bull, Jack Woodfield and Thomas Clark. Meantime, though, the race leader is Annalene Bouton's, but she's not able to pull away from Jack Bolton. Jack Bolton is running ahead of Matthias Gruten, and Gruten is staying there in third. Annalene Bouton is not able to run away with this one. She actually had a bigger lead earlier in the race. We'll see if she can hang on to the lead. She's coming away from the snail section there. The Dutch lady, as I say, a former ladies world champion. She's on the back straight now. It's Annalene Bouton with the lead. It's Jack Bolton in second, and it's Matthias Gruten in third with Ben Churchill fourth. So Jack Bolton looks like he's starting to work on Annalene Bouton's a little bit, and obviously has ideas of taking the lead. Matthias Gruten's staying with them. He's learning the track with every corner on every lap because he, as I say, has not been here before. He's never seen this racetrack before. The first lap he did was his qualifying lap, and what do you say about that, folks? That really is a great performance from the Belgian former world champion there in third place. Okay, so onto the backstretch, into that final turn at the end of the backstretch. It's going to be Annalene Bouton's. There she is from Jack Bolton. There's Gruten third. Oh, and Churchill with the attention of Joshua Morris in fourth. Ben Churchill now battling with Morris. Morris is in kart 13 in the red suit there. Coming, there they are, Churchill and Morris battling away. Morris almost running at the back of Ben Churchill. Annalene Bouton's though continues in the lead. This lead three-car starting to break away slightly from the fourth place of Ben Churchill. So Booten leads. It's Bolton second and Matthias Grooten in third. Here they come down the back stretch. There they are, 1, 2, 3, that's first. So, there they are, 1, 2, 3, through that corner there. Annelien Boetens hangs on. She knows exactly what she's doing. The question is she just trying to manage a consistent race pace and Jack Bolton's staying with her as a result, or is she trying her best and Jack Bolton and Matthias Grooten are actually not letting go away? We've got someone in the pits. It's Ben Churchill. Ben Churchill pits out of 4th place. There he is rejoining. Oh, this could be quite an error by Ben Churchill because he's come out behind, right behind some drivers who are a little bit slower than him. Looks like those at the tail of the field. I think it's Nathan Bull and Jack Woodfield. With the best will in the world, they are actually slower, and Churchill actually having to fight his way through. This is costing him time. Now, if you remember, he was in a battle with Josh Morris, and Josh Morris was closing him in, so Ben Churchill did not need to come out behind people who were slower than him. He's actually having a battle down the back straight as we speak. The time has frozen up again, so there may be some discrepancies here and there, but I'll try and do my best. Anyway, so we've got the 10 car pitted, the number 10, and that of course is Nathan Bull. Nathan Bull is pitted out of 8th place. That'll almost certainly drop him to last, but with a clear track. Nathan Bull rejoins the racetrack. There go the leaders through on screen there, and here comes the 4th place now. That's Josh Morris, who we saw battling with Ben Churchill. It's still Annelien Boetens and Jack Bolton, but Matthias Grooten, obviously learning with every corner of every lap, has actually closed in. He's closer physically to the leader Annelien Boetens than he was. He is in 3rd place, I must stress, but he and Jack Bolton are very tight with the leader now, Annelien Boetens. This is the closest race we've seen so far for an actual first place, but 19 is the cart in the pit lane. Jack Woodfield makes his pit stop. He's pitting out of 9th. He will probably resume last, and here comes Nathan Bull, I believe. Yep, that is Nathan Bull has just passed Jack Woodfield as Woodfield came out of the pits. But into the pits, it's the 3rd place, it's Matthias Grooten. Matthias Grooten into the pits. Oh, and it's an awful first part of the stop for him. He had to make several attempts to get the car physically stopped. The marshal wasn't happy with it, and that's cost Matthias Grooten. Of course, he's not been able to practice stopping. He doesn't know how it'll lock up, whether it'll lock up, whether it'll stop easy. Has no idea of that because this is his first time. He's only just arrived at the track. So Grooten, the former world champion, struggled a bit in the pit stop there. Surely that will give a little bit of breathing space to Annelien Boetens and Jack Bolton. They are still running first set. There they are on screen now. There's Boetens and Bolton. Grooten, of course, no longer with them. There is the new 3rd place driver, which is Josh Morris. And there comes Grooten. He's just coming through now. He's obviously dropped down the order again. Not sure quite where he is with the timing, but well, we'll soon find out. Once all these pit stops cycle through, I'm sure he'll be up into 3rd place again. 16 is the cart in the pit lane. And that 16 is Thomas Clark, who's actually running last, or was listed as last originally, and he will have dropped back into last. 12 is in now, and 12 is the car pitting. That's Jack Bolton. Jack Bolton pits out of 2nd place. That gives a little bit of breathing to Annelien Boetens. Goodness knows where he'll come out, because there's a lot of people who could take him. Will he come out ahead of Matthias Grooten? That's the question. He's trying desperately to get out pits on time. There's Grooten in the blue and white suit. There's Grooten chasing the black suit and white helmet of Jack Bolton. And when the pit stops have cycled through, this is probably the 2nd place battle. So, very, very important for Grooten to get ahead there, which he has not been able to do. However, he's on the tail of Jack Bolton, and Jack Bolton will have his work cut out. Often heralded as the best karter in the world, the best indoor karter in the world is Matthias Grooten, and he's all over the back of Jack Bolton now. Jack Bolton, the English driver, has got a lot of work to do here. Both drivers have pitted, so it's these two together now till the end. And Grooten, you can bet your life, is going to be working fully on Jack Bolton there. Jack Bolton, no question about it, guys, has his hands full from now to the checker. It's going to be a real tough one. If he can hold on to this one, he'll be doing very well indeed. There they are on screen going out of view. Annelien Boetens now has caught some back markers. She's caught the race leaders caught behind some back markers. She's got 2 of them ahead of her, surely holding her up. This is great news for the guys who are 2nd and 3rd, Bolton and oh, and Boetens running the back of one of the back markers. She's got ahead though, she's got ahead. Back marker actually clipped the back of her, should I say. She got past one of them, but surely it's cost of time. This race is too close for that kind of thing. There they are on the back straight. You can see Boetens is the 2nd of the cars. So there's Annelien Boetens, she's 2nd place there of those cars, but does lead the race. She's trying to pass the back marker. She's made it through. There she's on screen now. So Annelien Boetens fought her way through past a pair of back markers there. However, That could have cost the former ladies champion, former ladies world champion dear, because Grooten has passed Bolton, so Matthias Grooten has passed Jack Bolton, and Grooten has obviously figured the track out now, because he is starting to pull away from Jack Bolton. Now Jack Bolton's been running fast, but Matthias Grooten, a sterling effort there to get ahead. Remember, Grooten has not seen the track until this morning. He's not driven on it until now. Incredible performance there. Now Annelien Booten comes in the pits, the race leader pits. So the race leader, Annelien Booten, it's a good first stop. She's got to the end of it. There she is on screen. You can just see her come out. Now, will she come out ahead of Matthias Grooten? She's going to come out in the lead. Annelien Booten leads the race still. There's Matthias Grooten, though. And Matthias Grooten's going to catch up with her purely on momentum. Look at this. Into the snail section there. That's Annelien Booten. She will not want that sight of Matthias Grooten behind her. She's been racing against Matthias Grooten for many years on many tracks. She knows how tough a competitor he's going to be. Matthias Grooten is going to give absolutely no quarter. He's going to want to open this event with a win. He's never been here before, but he doesn't care. He's closing on the leader, Annelien Booten. Annelien Booten needs the points from the win. She wants to win just as much as he does. These are two great racers, very evenly matched. Now Jack Bolton. If Jack Bolton has the two leaders battling, maybe he can get back in the mix, because he's running third and he's not far behind either. Okay, so let's see if we can see him on camera. Coming out of the snail section is still Annelien Booten. There she is, with the blue and white suited Matthias Grooten behind her. Going down the screen on the back straight. So there's your leader, Annelien Booten. There's the second, Grooten. Then they come down. So there's Grooten chasing Booten. Now there is Jack Bolton. Now Jack Bolton is perfectly placed. If these two battle each other and slow each other down, Bolton could well be in the mix. But look at Ben Churchill. Ben Churchill's in fourth and closing on a lot of them. Ben Churchill is going to... Whoa, that was a close on there. Someone coming out of the pits right behind Jack Bolton is Josh Morris. If you remember, Churchill and Morris were battling like crazy earlier on. The 21 kart is in the pits. The 21 is Arnaud Tinet, the French driver. Arnaud Tinet resumes the race. He's out of the pits. A slick stop by Arnaud Tinet. Right then, so race leader still, of course, Annelien Booten. But look at this, Matthias Grooten coming into view now on screen. There they are. Grooten, and there's Jack Bolton. So what a race. This is the closest race for the win we've seen all morning long so far. Annelien Booten, the Dutch lady, has the Belgian man chasing her down, and Matthias Grooten, both of them holding very tight, typical sort of European lines that you see, taking the shortest way around. Rental karting, you can obviously take the shortest way around. The racing line generally tends to be a little bit tighter in rental karting, but look at this. Jack Bolton closing in on the pair of them. Annelien Booten withstanding immense pressure from Matthias Grooten, the former world champion. Jack Bolton closing in on the two former world champions ahead of him. This was a great moment for Jack Bolton. Oh, and the move for the lead, a move for the lead. No, and a move back. For a moment there, Matthias Grooten took the lead, and Annelien Booten on the very next turn shot up the inside and took it back. She was waving at Matthias Grooten. I think what she might be saying is, don't fight me yet. Let's try and pull away from Jack Bolton. In karting, you can communicate a little bit. Rental karters have their own sort of code of messages, and that little battle there has just allowed Bolton to close in. It could well be that Annelien Booten was wanting Matthias Grooten to not fight too hard with her this early, so that they could pull clear of Bolton, then slug it out for the lead and the win, but it's not the way it's worked out. That little shenanigans there, that pass and repass, has given Bolton the shot he needs. He's getting with them now. Now Matthias Grooten having another look at the lead, down back straight. Here it is. No, Grooten stays to the outside of Booten's. Jack Bolton is struggling to stay with him. Annelien Booten, there she is, in the black suit with the red and white helmet. And there's Matthias Grooten with a blue and white suit. And there's Jack Bolton with the black suit and the white helmet. There they are, 1, 2, 3. What a show. Annelien Booten's around the snail section. Matthias Grooten and Jack Bolton, he's with them. He's going to be in the mix now. Surely this is going to be a three-way fight for the lead. Onto the backstretch once again. Can Grooten do something here? No, he can't. Annelien Booten's got the speed into the final turn there. Well, not the final turn, but the turn the end straight. Grooten's pushing Annelien Booten's round near the stadium area. There they go, crossing the line once again. And Jack Bolton, what a performance by him to stay with these two former world champions. An exceptional performance. This is going to get interesting. Back markers approach. Get to him first. She's going to get there first to Matthias Grooten, and Grooten knows it, because in a big fumble, he's going to be right there to take advantage. he's part of that lead group. Okay, so the blue flag's going to be coming out. We'll see who it's for. I think it's Jack Woodfield. Jack Woodfield's the first one on the hit list, followed by Thomas Clark. He's next up the road. Annalene Boutons, they've got the blue flag. Woodfield's got the blue flag. But the thing is, Boutons is not quite close enough to make the pass yet. Woodfield's looked over his shoulder. He's on the back. It's other way, so's Matthias Scruton. And Jack still has the lead though. Matthias Scruton is right on her tail. Next up, they've got Thomas Clark. It's Thomas Clark's next on the hit list. They're coming down the back stretch into that turn at the end of the back stretch. Next up though, it is in fact Thomas racing clean at the front. So the back markers do need to obey these blue flags. It's been pretty good as a rule so far, but one or two interesting moments here. But Annalene Boutons is now up with Thomas Clark, and she's going to pass him, and Scruton gets through as well. And what happens to Jack Bolton? He's trying to wave. Will Clark see the Bolton down? Oh, and a contact and a pass for the lead. Scruton takes the lead, and Jack Bolton's now with Boutons. It's a three-way fight for the lead, and Scruton has the lead. Matthias Scruton, the former world champion, has the lead from the former ladies world champion Annalene Boutons. It was going to take a moment of confusion to get that, and that's exactly what it took. But can he make something of this? He took advantage of the back marker switch with the lead group. Look at him there going down the back turn. He's the one with the bright orange on his helmet, the black and orange. So let's have a look. If they cross the line on the screen, there's Scruton the lead, there's Scruton, there's Bolton. A back marker, and there is Churchill. He's actually running in 4th place, but looks to be 5th in the lineup, you see, because we've got Thomas Clark between him and Bolton, who is in 3rd place. My goodness, I'm going to run out of voice in this race because what a race we've had. Matthias Scruton, heralded sometimes as being the greatest race lightning. Matthias Scruton, what can you say about this driver? He turns up and sticks it into the lead. As I said earlier, he's learning with every lap, and well, he doesn't seem to have a lot more learning. Fastest person out of this heat race, so he's the fastest in the heat race here. Annalene Boutons, she's trying her formidable best, but it's not enough to defeat Scruton. She lost the lead to him, but she's staying in 2nd. Her main concern now, surely, has got to be Jack Bolton, because Jack Bolton driving the race of his life. Jack Bolton is steaming around right behind Annalene Boutons. Surely not much of the race left to go. Ben Churchill is 4th, and Ben, an amazing performance. He's now got ahead of that back marker, which is Thomas Clark, and Ben Churchill is possibly going to close in on the Boutons and Bolton battle. That would be quite something. Amazing run by Churchill. Churchill is not recording laps faster than they are, but somehow he seems to be a bit closer than he was. So there's Arnaud Timé on the screen, the French driver, clocking in another lap. Here comes the leader. There's the leader on the screen, and there's the 2nd and 3rd. And here's Churchill in 4th. There he is, there's Churchill right there with the orange on his helmet. Okay, so Matthias Scruton, a sterling performance. This is the greatest performance we've ever seen in BRKC. He turns up, he sticks it in the lead, and he's going to win the race. Surely he's pulling away from Annalene Boutons. They're onto the backstretch now. On the backstretch they go.